I'm really delighted that the National Symphony Orchestra of Ireland have recorded 3 of my major orchestral pieces. These include the Violin Concerto Venus Blazing with the soloist Bradley Kresick, a piece called Unity of Being, which I wrote for the Ulster Orchestra in 2001, and a piece that was commissioned by the National Symphony Orchestra in 2003 called Empire States, which was one of the finalists in the international roster of composers and has been broadcast in 27 countries. So it's really important body of work for me over the past decade, and a very influential body of work on my most recent orchestral pieces. This is a great moment for me, the first time that I've had a complete CD of my own work. And I was approached by RTE probably 2 years ago now to do this project, and it's just very exciting to think that a record is now available of 3 major works that have, been there in my body of works that perhaps a lot of people don't know about and will now have access to. And this wonderful sense of being able to work in a studio situation, which we don't normally get as composers. We get the one performance or the follow-up performance, but just working very closely and rehearsing and doing it again and trying it another way, and maybe having 5 times at trying something through was just great, really wonderful. Well, as a composer living in the 21st century, I'm a great believer that we should be aware of what's happening in the world around us and reflect it in the music that we write. We should have an awareness of it and take on some of the ideas of what's happening in the world. Aside from that, there's a piece called Venus Blazing, which is about the planet Venus and has a completely other life. But the 2 pieces, Unity of Being and Empire States, do have a connection. I do deal with the thorny and the political and the not comfortable themes, and Empire States was written after I spent a year in New York City on a Fulbright scholarship. And it was a response to coming back, and it was at the time of the Bush regime, shall I call it, where opinions about America were very negative, and this was a very strong reaction to that. It was saying that the American dream is still possible, embodied in the sense of hope and aspirations of New York City during the building of the Empire State Building. And this piece then became Empire States, and is very much a sense that the American dream is still alive. If you want things to happen, you can make them happen. Certainly that was my feeling and my response to having lived in New York in the year of 2000. I do a lot of music theatre pieces or opera stroke music theatre. And also theatricalizing concerts is something that's very important. I really believe that the audience expects something more now. In fact, in the concert that we have to launch the CD, we've got some lighting in it, which in a way takes you outside the fact that the concert's a lunchtime concert. It could be any time of the day. It just gives it just a different atmosphere. When we originally did the Venus Blazing Violin Concerto, I appeared as Venus with a very theatrical makeup and wig, and was a Venusian, an emissary from Venus, coming to share thoughts on music from another planet, and it was described as an interplanetary experience by one of the reviewers who first came to hear it. I'm working with the soloist Evelyn Glennie on a project, which is quite, it's in the very early stages, but will be quite a theatrical project also. We're looking at finding the right venue to begin to work on a piece together. I've been commissioned by RTE for the 2012 season to write a piano concerto for Fineen Collins, which is a new commission, and I met Fineen today, and that's beginning as well. So it's a very good start to the year for me. We're having a launch in London at the end of January for the CD as well, so it's a very good beginning to 2010.